How important is it really? I mean, how do you view it? The scope of this one, like, how do you view this game in regards to the landscape of the 2021 season?
I mean, I 100% agree with you. It's a must win. And I hate saying that, but
I would phrase it even as this. Maybe it's not a must win, but it's a can't lose. I think that's the best way to put it. Really. I mean,
yeah. Yeah, no, I agree with that. I think, and again, being on the outside looking in, like, we don't know what goals, like, internally that team captains, that coaches have put forward in front of these players. To me, like, this is big because, again, you're playing a much better opponent. So you got a chance to go out there and, like, sharpen a lot of the things that we saw last week. And we saw a lot of stuff last week that needs to be cleaned up that you can't do again against an East Carolina. Like, we can't have 2 touchdowns called back against East Carolina and hope to walk out of there with a win. So, to me, it's really just more like, let's continue to get better on the offensive front, in the secondary, with the wide receivers, and play well enough to win. And I think they can do that. They can 100% do that. I think, it just turns into a must win for me because of who you've got next week. And so it's that, like, from a mental standpoint, you blow one, or not even necessarily blow one, because we're gonna have a much better idea of who and what this team is, around 4:00 on Saturday versus like what we've got right now. But getting those answers with a win is gigantic going into Georgia.
You can ask,
and that's so
yeah.
Looking at it from those terms, like, that's why it's a must win to me, is because you want to be able to, like, and again, I hate to keep going back to the confidence and mentality standpoint, but that's really what this is going to turn into, because you've had so much turmoil, from Muschamp getting fired to transfer portal guys. You bring in, Shane into the mix. You get super hot on the recruiting trail middle of the summer, but, like, those guys aren't here yet. And so you've got to, like, build that rapport, that confidence, that strong mentality with the guys that are in the building. And especially, like, you against, like, East Carolina, to continue to get better at those weaker positions before you start taking on the Georgias, Kentuckys, Missouris, Tennessees of the world. Like, having that in your back pocket, again, just knowing that you can compete with Eastern Illinois, then you can go on the road and compete with East Carolina. Now anything's possible. And so having that mentality walking into those situations is gigantic.